I feel like in most cases where I have a cough, I can't taste anything anyway, so it's sort of irrelevant what kind of tea I have, as long as there's lots of honey in it.
Lots of honey. That's right.
It's just a vehicle for honey, right?
Basically,
That's why it's just hot honey.
Yeah.
Right. Is that what chicken is too? It's just a vehicle for honey?
Yeah. Hot honey.
Hot honey.
Vehicle for Honey was the name of my band in high school.
I haven't heard one of those in a long time. I haven't heard that name in a long time.
It's a pretty good name.
Vehicle for hot honey? It's a little long.
No, just Vehicle for
Just
Honey.
vehicle for honey.
Yeah.
Vehicle for honey? Mm-hmm. Better.
I swear at 15 that might have got me laid. Probably not.
It's not that good.
Yeah, so just prepare to...
It'll be great.
It'll be perfect. Yeah, so just prepare to...
Y'all motherfuckers don't watch us play throughout the year, to tell you the truth. I'm gonna be real with you, and I don't care if I get fined.
That train is off the track.
I feel like you can't just like jump through Neptune and be okay.
Just prepare to...
What the show needs is more dogs and bears and chickens and stuff.
Yeah, so just prepare to be awash in unbeatable goodness.
Welcome, Pacers fans. You're listening to the Undebeatables, your semi-weekly Pacers podcast. This is episode 741, coming to you from Indianapolis, Indiana. I'm your host, Joey Gaffrida, the man behind the dials. This show, we're going to throw a boomerang around. We got a stat of the week for you and an undegoogleable. Joining me this week are all three of our analysts, coast to coast, like buttered toast. First, from the high school home of Jamison Brewer, Silver Spring, Maryland, it's the doctor, Jason Triplett.
What is up, Pacers fans? What is up, Undebeatables? Shout out to the All-Star starters getting named today. As you listen to this, hopefully LaMelo Ball is not still the number one vote getter amongst the Eastern Conference guards.
From Asheville, North Carolina, he's our in-house bartender mixing up the drinks in the crappy jingles, John Colson.
What is up, Pacer Nation? What is up, Undebeatables? Everybody sing it with me. Rock it like a boomerang.
From Tacoma, Washington, out west, it's our enforcer, John Harper.
What is going on, fellas? LaMelo has obviously more votes than Donovan Mitchell, but also more votes than Steph Curry or Luka Doncic.
What is going on?
He's fun to watch. Did you see when he threw the ball off the backboard to give it back to himself, to give it to assist for a layup? It was pretty fun.
That's cool.
Yeah, he's fun.
But I saw, was it Jarris Walker threw one off the backboard to himself to kick it out to a three? That's more efficient.
That is, you're right.
Yeah. Is he going to be he's going to be the first TikTok All-Star starter? Because it's
Looking
basically
that way.
why he's popular, right? Is you can just cut these clips and he does score like 30 a game, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, so does Doncic.
True.
What was the guy that almost got on the All-Star team because the whole country voted for him or something?
Croatian or something? Who was that?
Yeah. That was
Pero Antic? Or no?
I don't know. That's when they changed the rule, right? Where they split this up because they don't trust the fans anymore.
Yeah.
And they had to secretly they
was
lost
it,
some votes somehow, so that guy didn't end up being a starter.
I think he was on the Warriors, is that right?
Is it Zaza Pachulia?
Yeah.
I think it was Zaza.
Yeah.
Oh, was it? Okay.
No, he's Georgian.
Georgian.
So maybe all of Georgia was voting for him.
For my Georgian brethren. That's my Georgian accent.
to Game 7.
Baby.
Oh, yeah. So, it was Zaza, and he was... Yeah, they didn't love that. The league said, hey, Zaza, you busted our stupid system.
Right. So I'm wondering if they'll do the same thing with LaMelo Ball.
I don't know.
So the NBA discovered the democracy didn't work right before Washington did. Is that what you're telling me?
You can't give these idiots.
It's our new Twitter democracy. All right, team. Well, before we start the show, I want to remind listeners that they can support us, the longest-running Pacers podcast, by heading over to patreon.com/undebeatables. You can support us for as little as $1 per month. And Colson, before we get into your boomerang that you're going to throw at us, I want to do one more quick shout-out. And somebody that had emailed in to us a little while ago, his name is Ethan Reese, and he runs the Daily Sports History podcast. And he he featured us, or mentioned us on his show. It was about the longest shot made. I guess the longest shot made in history was from a Pacers player many years ago. But I'll get a link in the show notes to the episode. But he does a show. It's in the name. It's a daily sports history podcast. But every day there's some interesting story about sports history, and one of them was this shot from the Pacers. It was back many years ago. I think it was when they played at the fairgrounds. I think it was at the fairgrounds.
So, I mean, how far away do you have to be? Are you, like, under the basket?
Yes.
Okay. Like, basically you got a rebound and then just chucked it sort of thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Seems real far.
Yep. So, but I'll give a link in the show notes. And check out the show. If you just they're usually short. They're like 10 minutes or so, and they're just something interesting. So check them out.
Shout out.
Now I got to find out which Pacer it is too.
It is Harkness.
Harkness, huh?
Yeah. But listen to the show. You'll
I will.
find out.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm going to get the link in the show notes.
It was Jerry Harkness, and he had a legendary full court shot.
Chicks dig the long ball.
Colson, you got a boomerang for us this week?
A bango ain't your baby.
I do. I occasionally feel like we need to wrap our minds around what's going on in the NBA just through simple stats. And so I'm gonna ask you guys. We're gonna rock it like a boomerang. And Joe, since you called shotgun last week, you get to go first this week.
Oh, then I'll call shotgun for next week too.
That's not how it works.
Well, I'll call shotgun for this week, and then next week
I'll call bazooka for last week.
Oh, bazooka! Are you like the guy that throws out dynamite when we're playing paper rock scissors?
Yep.
So, Joe, I'm asking you the top 12 scorers per game in the NBA right now.
Okay. Let's go LaMelo Ball.
LaMelo Ball. I figured you might get that one since we just talked about him. He is number 4 in the league with 29.9 points per game. Jason.
Let's go Shea Gilgeous-Alexander.
SGA is number 3 at 31.5 points per game. Yeah, along with 5.5 rebounds and 6 assists and 2 steals and a block for some reason. Kid's incredible. Right? Harper.
Is Doncic on that list for me?
Doncic is on that list. He's 6 at 28.1 points per game.
Slacking this season.
Yeah. He's also given you 8.3 rebounds and 7.8 assists. Joey.
Jason Tatum.
Jason Tatum, number 7. 27.8 points per game. My goodness. Almost 10 rebounds a game, too. Jason.
Giannis.
Antetokounmpo. 31.7 points per game. With 12 rebounds, 6 assists, a steal, and a block and a half. Man. Is anybody talking about him for MVP? I feel like they should be.
A few people. couple million fans, I think, have brought it up.
Okay. He's real good.
He's real good.
I think we're on Harper.
We are. How about a Jokic?
Jokic trying to be first foreign guy to win 4 MVPs. Is that right?
Well on his way.
Yeah, he is averaging 31.6 points, 13 rebounds, 10 assists, 1.8 steals. He's shooting a career high from 3-point range, was 48%.
It's dipped a little bit.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
That ain't right.
So he's top 2 in points, rebounds, and assists, right? Something like that.
That's amazing. Yeah, that is correct. Incredible. Okay.
Very good at the basketballs.
Very good at the basketballs. I would maybe put some money on the Jokic. Even people who get tired of voting for the same guy.
What are you gonna do?
I know. It's incredible. Joe.
Well, it's Kevin Durant.
Kevin Durant. He's 36 years old. Did you know that? 27 points per game. He is number 8. Jason.
De'Aaron Fox.
De'Aaron Fox. You guys are good at this. He's 9. 26.7 points per game.
Maybe you're bad at this.
Possibly. I had no idea De'Aaron Fox was scoring so many points. Good on him.
I would not gotten into that one. And I'm
neither.
out of surefire guys, but I know Embiid has missed a lot of time, so I'm taking Maxey.
Maxey is correct. He's 11.
Ooh.
He's 11?
25.7. We're going to 12.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. 25.7 points per game. Nice work. So there's only 3 guys left. Joe.
Is there a Wembanyama on the list?
There's not a Wembanyama. He's 15.
Yeah. Ah!
Yeah. Giving you 25.1 points per game and 4 blocks, just for fun. Jeez.
So,
all right. Jason.
I'm going to say Jalen Brunson.
Jalen Brunson's 14.
That's what I was going with,
25.1 as well, with 7.5 assists. Kind of slacking this year, honestly.
Yeah.
Harper,
How
want to
about
tie this thing up?
Anthony Davis? Has he played games?
Anthony Davis.
Oh, wow.
There you go.
Good one.
25.8 points per game. Boy, he's playing well.
I mean, if he's playing, he usually does.
He's usually pretty good.
True.
Yeah.
Remember the NBA Cup
25.8,
final last year?
11.9 rebounds, 3.5 assists, a steal and a half, and 2 blocks. Not bad. And then I'm just going to go ahead and give you the last one. Anthony Edwards. 25.4.
Booker was next on my list. I was going to miss that one, too.
Yeah, Booker's 17. Damian Lillard, 16.
Really?
Cam Thomas is 18.
Who?
Doing work for Brooklyn. Nice job, guys.
Harper.
Very nice.
Thanks for throwing that for my birthday. I appreciate it, guys.
That's right.
So we did pretty good there.
I'll have to remember
Shout out
when
to
you
you
guys
guys.
are struggling just to throw you the how many points do people score bone.
It is one that that gets mentioned all the time.
Do you
so.
like
Well,
points?
I'm telling you, I did not know about De'Aaron Fox.
Yeah, I didn't know about De'Aaron Fox either. He's very good. I just thought Sabonis would have been sucking away a lot of points from him, too.
Right.
I guess they do score a lot.
Yeah.
I wanted to move on to my stat of the week.
Joey, stat of the week.
We're all about numbers on this show. You know, Coulson, you're talking top 12 this, top defense with this lineup. And
I am talking
I ran the internet through my statistics filter that I custom built on my quantum computer, and found maybe the kindest man. And he's my stat of the week.
Oh.
His name's Alan McCloskey, and he is from Galveston, Indiana, and he holds the world record for the longest career as a gravedigger. Been doing it for 70 years at this point. He has, according to the article, he's been doing the job since 1952, and he's buried, as the article says, he's buried plenty of residents, including his wife, Barbara. And he says he figured she'd want him to do it. But he's apparently super duper nice dude, and he also kind of does odd jobs around the town. And then, he'd finish up, they'd ask him for a bill, and he just wouldn't do it. He just gives away his time and efforts for the people in his town. So
wait, he's been a grave digger for 70 years and he's never charged for it?
No, I think he charges for his main job.
That's
okay.
his job.
I see.
Yeah.
He doesn't charge for his
handyman
trash.
duties.
Handyman stuff, right.
Fixing
window
faucet.
panes.
And I'm sorry, what town is this?
Galveston,
So
Indiana.
I need to move to Galveston where people are nice.
That's right.
Yeah. And I checked out on his Facebook, just within the last day, he apparently was featured on the latest episode of Classic Tractor Fever.
Oh, that's my favorite show.
Yep. And he was riding a 1956 Eshelman Deluxe.
Not the Eshelman. What?
Yeah, absolutely. It was a gold, and it's a gold colored one, and you can see it on the Classic Tractor Fever show, this most latest episode.
So he's nice but flashy.
Yeah,
It looks a little bit like he's riding a big wheel, though.
It kind of does. Yeah, the comment was the back right wheel has a little bit of a wobble.
Yeah, well, he's looking pretty good for 90.
I know,
Old Alan.
Yeah, I mean he's doing stuff, man. So, town loves him. He's been doing the same job since 1952, and the people of his town say he's figured out what makes him happy, and it's not money.
That's apparently digging.
Digging.
It's a lot of digging.
Yep.
Kind of constant supply of people dying,
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's true. If you're in a small town, it's a limited supply, but, I mean, they're out there. You just got to know where to find them. Next topic we got, it's an undegoogleable. I was reminded of a phrase that, a variation of a phrase. We were watching a little bit of a Little Nemo at our house, and the people there are in Australia, and there was a scene where a man was saying to another man, he said I need to go see a man about a wallaby. And I thought it was pretty funny. And then I'd heard the phrase, I guess it refers to the phrase, "You're gonna see a man about a horse," which I think just means going to the bathroom. Is that what you guys?
That's the only context I've ever heard it used in.
Yeah. So the context of the phrase is, I'm going to go see a man about a horse, which just means I'm going to the bathroom. Why would the phrase be like that? Where would that come from? I mean, I get that it sounds a little bit more polite than, I'm going to go blast some dookie or just urinate or head to the restroom. But why that phrase? Who's ever going to see a man about a horse?
Are we doing Undebeatables?
That was the plan.
Super excited.
You told us we had to, so.
He said we signed up for it.
In the end, it's going to be better and more true than Google can give you.
Well, is it just the polite construction of "I've got to piss like a racehorse"?
Yeah, that's the way I always took it. Was that it was specifically you had to go number one.
Okay.
And yeah, I like Harper thought it was a derivative of that.
But why anyone has to piss like a racehorse, or really even how a racehorse pisses, I don't know very much about. I assume for a long time.
Yeah, I assume for a long time and with a lot of vigor, I would guess.
Well, and the story with that is, and I am assuming this is the case, but I think I'd heard that they don't let, they let horses drink a bunch before a race, and that they don't let them pee because it motivates them to run faster. Is that
a thing?
What, like?
Seems like extra weight.
Yeah,
that's what I thought. Otherwise, I don't know why pissing like a racehorse even makes sense.
So you're saying they tie it off? Is that what you're saying?
I don't know, man. I mean, I guess they do. I don't know how else you're going to stop them.
No,
they're not gonna,
that's how you make a bronco buck, I think. Like, that's not... Yeah.
Oh. Yeah.
Jab them with electricity.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I guess I always thought it was just an impressive feat to see a horse urinate.
Yeah.
Oh, like they'd just be good at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And impressive.
Yeah. And so are racehorses not especially good at this in that scenario rather than, draft horses or something?
Say a Clydesdale or something. I don't know. I guess it just a racehorse is the most common thing that you see, maybe. I guess. I don't know.
I would think that would be the least common thing you would see. Most farmers probably have horses of some kind.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
But maybe they're the most impressive specimen of the type.
I was going to say maybe like if it was a city guy who just has a degenerate problem watching horse racing. But also you've got, depending on what era, everything's driven by a horse. So even if you're not a farmer and you're a city guy, right? You're taking your horse-drawn carriage to the, ballet. What do people do?
I mean, at some point that was... Post. I mean, that was, the best way to get anywhere.
So you guys have directly connected Piss Like a Racehorse to See a Man About a Horse. And I have never connected those things. For some reason, I always thought it was like... I connected it more to Don't Look a Gift Horse in the Mouth. Because you're like somebody gives you a horse and then you don't want to like check it out because it's kind of a bum deal. It's like seeing a guy about a horse is like a stupid thing that I don't really need to do because it's going to be nobody's giving away horses, sort of thing. And so it was just sort of what's the most ridiculous thing you can say you're going to do instead of go pee. That's how I always sort of heard it.
Now that I'm listening to this, maybe I always heard it as I got to see a man about a mule. Is that something different?
I don't think I've ever heard it that way.
Oh, it was a horse? Okay.
I always thought about it I thought it was a horse.
And apparently a wallaby.
And that was
occasionally is a wallaby.
Occasionally. That's is that when Waywin goes to bed? You watch Little Nemo.
We started it, and it was a little more intense than we thought it was. And at one point, he's like, "This is crazy," and I was like, "Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Let's turn this off." And we did not finish it. The shark, there were some shark scenes that were a little more aggressive.
A little violent is Finding Nemo?
They were a little bit. I mean, there was some shark. Shark was chasing some little fish that were defenseless, and it was a little scary for everybody.
Yeah. Probably not the shark.
No, the shark. Well, you know what? It was a scary moment for himself because he was trying to stop eating fish, and he had a lapse. And so, he had to look at himself, I think, after that as well.
It's tough to be a vegetarian shark.
Mm-hmm. Very tough.
So he stopped eating fish because he was only eating humans? Is that what was...
They did say they were saying specifically fish. They didn't want to eat. So
Gotcha.
So yeah, people are no problem.
Yeah. Horses probably fine.
Yeah.
No wallabies.
So you'd think, Coulson, that it's just outlandishness.
It's inane. I'm gonna go over around the corner and piss, but I'm gonna go around the corner and see a man about a horse. It's just stupid.
I guess that makes more sense if you were like outside. I think.
I don't think people say it inside, do they?
I think you could say it wherever.
I feel like it's only been said to me like
inside.
in camping situations, maybe.
Okay.
I had somebody say it to me at a bar.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
sure.
feel like
yeah,
that's the only
fair.
place where I hear it is at a bar.
Yeah, no, you're right. It's at the bar.
Was it a Western bar? Was it a cowboy bar?
Was there
No, it
line
was-
dancing going on?
Was there a Broncin Buck?
No, and the guy that said it to me was a British dude, which
Well,
I don't know if that makes it
weirder.
Is
more or
this?
less
I
interesting.
assumed strongly this was an American construction, but either he was really
he's
getting
been
into
in the U.S. for a long time,
Okay.
but he's definitely has a good British accent.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go see a man about a horse. Is
Got
that?
an horse.
That was my.
What?
Georgian.
So you've been thinking about it, Joey. What are your? When do you think people started saying this?
I mean, I'd say pre-internet, pre-moon landing. I'd say pre-Ford.
Pre-Ford.
So pre-automobile.
Pre-flight.
Pre-flight. So I'd say anywhere between the beginning of time and the 1800s. So I'd say the 1800s.
You're saying the beginning of time. I mean, when did they invent horses, Joey?
That's a whole other topic, and pull my Bible out here. I can tell you.
About 5,000 years ago.
No, no, I'd say. I mean, I guess when alcohol. Alcohol is one thing that makes you go to the bathroom more, unless. I mean, I guess caffeine does too, but I would associate this with drinking because you're going to the bathroom more, and when horses were more popular. And I'd say late 1800s in Kentucky, because that's where the horses are the biggest, right?
Sure. I was going to say horses probably were more popular, I don't know, before then. So I'm going to go before then. I'm saying horses were pretty, by late 1800s, we were figuring other things out besides horses, right?
Like what?
We had like trains and stuff.
I mean, for like longer things.
There's walking. We figured that out by late 1800s.
Yeah, we did. We did nail that by the late 1800s.
I'm gonna say that this is Shakespeare. And
Yeah.
It's and it's one of his comedies.
Yeah,
It seems
that's what I was
wacky
going to
and
go
silly.
with too, because now I think it's British because your British buddy said it.
Your British buddy said
Yeah.
it's like Much Ado About Nothing or something.
Yeah, I'll take British, but I'll take Industrial Revolution when they were figuring out walking.
Okay.
So, after this, I want to talk about how what we did for locomotion before we were walking. But that's another topic.
It's for episode 740, 742.
Yes.
I'm gonna go. I think it's like a flapper era, euphemism that came about.
To bee's knees? No, that's later, isn't it?
I love the
Is that the
bee's
same
knees. That's
Bee's
same
knees,
era.
probably.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it comes from falconry.
Somehow. No, I mean these things. It's probably horse racing, right? These things are always horse racing. Why can't it just be from horse racing?
Yeah.
That just seems a bit on the nose.
Yeah. All right, Joe, what you got? You said horse racing in 1800s.
Boy, the first thing that came up for me, frickin' horse racing. So the things I'm seeing, at least first, are it was a way to discreetly excuse yourself from a situation to either use the restroom or buy a drink under the guise of horse betting on a horse. So seeing a man about a horse would be betting on that horse.
So it's still legal to bet on horses, but it's illegal to drink during Prohibition in the United States. That's what I'm saying.
Well,
so you'd say you're going to go see a man about a horse to go get a drink.
Yeah, I don't know. You're at a place where you can do that already, right? So it's like the gambling addiction is somehow more...
Fine.
Yeah, that's somehow better than either peeing or drinking.
Okay, so this says that the earliest confirmed publication is the 1866 Bucco play Flying Scud, which a character knowingly breezes past a difficult situation saying, "Excuse me, Mr. Quail, I can't stop. I've got to see a man about a dog." Time magazine observed that the phrase was the play's claim to fame.
Yeah, Wiktionary has it as a variant of "see a man about a dog" as well.
I'm seeing dog and horse is essentially interchangeable.
Which you also race dogs, after all.
Yes.
Right.
And then apparently in Newcastle Brown Ale commonly gained the nickname of dog from the frequent use of the phrase to describe going to the pub.
Oh.
Interesting.
Because you see a man about a dog.
We're not seeing anything about Shakespeare, though, right?
No.
Also, I'm not seeing anything about... You guys seen anything on dates on this?
Well,
Like I said, I've got
1866 was...
Yeah.
Okay.
Dion Bosico.
Busico? That seems to be fairly consistent across what I'm looking at. So he wrote a play comedy thing, and everybody loved it.
And then it was done as a radio program in a 1939 revival. And that's where Time observed that the phrase was the play's claim to fame.
And almost all of these, it's for going to the restroom or, I don't know why, buying a drink. I've never heard it used in that way.
I think it's because you're leaving the house to go get a drink. It's not. Nobody's saying that at the bar, right? You're like, don't ask me where I'm going.
Correct.
I'll be back.
Yeah.
So you're definitely going somewhere.
But why do you need a phrase to be like, yeah, don't ask me where I'm going? Like, in that scenario, you're going to the place where you're not supposed to be going. Like, why are you talking about it?
Right.
Well, you need a cover. I guess this is a bad cover.
This is a terrible cover. This is the I'm obviously lying. Don't ask me about it cover.
But I think that
wink,
depending on who you're talking to, if you were maybe in a typical relationship in the mid to late 1800s, maybe you would maybe the man would just tell his wife an obvious lie and say, "Hey, this is what's happening. I'm going to go see a man about a horse. And I'll take no follow-up questions."
Yeah, it seems like you could use it at work too, and so everybody's sort of like, wink, wink, we know what you're doing sort of thing, but
yeah,
you have an excuse. So you're just basically saying,
Instead
"Hey, I'm going to go have a
saying-
drink real fast, boss. I'll be back." Or
yeah.
Seems not great.
Well, I only saw that mentioned once. The drink one.
Yeah. I mean, if it's just openly code during Prohibition, I guess that makes some sense to me.
Yeah.
So Piss Like a Racehorse, it seems like,
Yes.
came around in 1982.
What? Seems late.
Does seem late. When this is from todayifoundout.com. It says, when most horses take a leak, it is a dramatic sight. With the stream typically about 1/3 to 1/2 of an inch in diameter, creating a veritable river of urine. Let's see.
Racehorses are conditioned not to pee before a race.
How do you condition that?
Well, I think just so it's not on the track probably is why you do it.
I mean, you could teach a horse to pee wherever, right?
Horses are pretty smart.
Yeah.
But I mean, when you gotta go, man.
So yeah, I'm seeing this as well. So piss like a racehorse in 1982. Piss like a horse became popular in the 1970s.
So piss like a horse was first documented in the New American Review in 1969.
It's wild.
The noise of straining tractors, uncles who were proud they could piss like a horse, and who ingested certain liquids to permit them to continue to blah 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 blah. And then piss like a racehorse from 1982 in the book Ground Rush by Greg Barron.
English Stack Exchange says that the popularity of piss like a racehorse revitalized the expression "sing a man about a horse." I don't know if that's speculation or not, but I like it.
Leslie Donaldson says that pissing like a racehorse came with the tactics of using diuretics on horses prior to races.
Yeah.
Which originated during the 70s.
Furosemide became legalized in horse racing in the 70s, yeah.
It says a horse might pass 10 to 15 liters of urine.
And that seems to be, you'd use that so they'd be lighter.
Yeah,
so they could,
which makes sense because,
right,
like we were saying, Jason, you don't want a heavier horse.
So it was British. So Harper, you were right on that, and it was late 1800s, which Joey was right. So we nailed it, right?
Nailed it.
And the reasoning just seems to be because it sounds a little bit more polite than, or you just don't want to give information.
Yeah, it's
It just
you're
sounds more polite
being
than-
discreet.
Except you're not, because everybody
Right.
knows what you
You're
mean.
openly saying I'm going to go have a drink, or you're openly saying I'm going to go take a piss, or whatever.
Yeah, because the
Right.
purpose of language is to convey ideas. So
Yeah.
Piss itself traces to Old French pissier,
now that tracks.
1200s.
Those crass medieval Frenchmen.
That's right.
Love how, that phrase, piss comes from the French, and then that it just moves. Language is weird, man.
If we've learned anything on this show, it's that.
Language is weird. Shakespeare probably did it, but didn't this time. All right. Well, I'm glad we talked about that because it's not something that comes up often for me, but it was always baffling. I got it. I figured it out. I just picked up on the context clues. We talked about this. I'm good at that. I'd never heard the phrase at least that I noticed until I was an adult, and I was a little confused.
Well, I think you need to start using this phrase often around Waywen so he doesn't have the same, experience. He can just know from a young age what it means.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll do it for you if you want.
Especially use it when you're excusing yourself to see your mistress, Instead of...
And if he asks for clarification, I'll say, no follow-up questions. All right, team. Well, I think we all learned something today. And I'm glad I learned this because it popped into my head for a little while, and I was never quite sure what to make of it. That's pretty much like everything we talk about on the Undebeatables is why is this like this? All right, well, we'll be back with you next week. Until then, you can find us on Twitter, we are at Undebeatables. We're on Facebook.com/TheUndebeatables. Our website is TheUndebeatables.com. There's also a contact form there. You can use that to send us a message and email. Shout out at TheUndebeatables.com and the website/store to get the merch.
For the architect, Donnie Walsh, and our once and always Hall of Fame coach, Bobby Sick-Leonard, turn out the lights. The party's over.
It was oddly sweet. Deceptively sweet.
I'm running out of ideas.
How? We've only done 741 of these.
Thought you had that many before we started it, or we would have never undertaken this project.
Yeah.
Like, I only have 740 in me. We have to come up with a new way to end the show now. Sorry.